morning, Leroy. We're a day late, but we're still here for another edition of From the Pressbox.
A day late and $1 short. That sounds about right for us.
Well, we do work in radio, so it fits perfectly, right? How you doing?
That's true. That's true.
How are you?
We're excited. We're excited. I'm good. It is. I know nobody else cares, but it's opening weekend for IndyCar. First practice is tomorrow in beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida, because of course it is. So I'm all excited for that. That's tomorrow. That starts tomorrow. But it's been a good week. Nothing going on this week. I haven't had any sporting events. I kind of been like twiddling my thumbs a little bit. Like, what do I do with all this free time? So I've been playing guitar and doing a bunch of other stuff, but it's a good chance to catch up on my other things that I've neglected over the last 4 months.
You see, now I'm in that realm. We had our final girls game of the season on Tuesday. Girls lost to it. They had the worst possible draw that potentially could have absolutely happened. Like, if you would have told me back on November the whatever it was, like, what is the worst case scenario? Well, I guess the worst case scenario would have been they didn't even make it to the region. But in some instances, it was just like that was the absolute worst case that could have possibly happened. Boys don't make it. Girls draw Owensboro Catholic. That was tough. And then, Leroy, we can at least touch a little bit of it. I know you messaged me and you, what was it, yesterday? And you're like, man, Twitter's a little hot in the third region. Like, well,
No, because listen, I go on Twitter all the time. And the amount of times I see, because it puts up like, oh, so-and-so has commented. I saw your name pop up and I'm like, Sam's on Twitter? Sam's never on Twitter. So I jumped on there. And
I usually don't get into beef.
Right. But then I saw like there was like 4 or 5 messages. I was like, ooh, juicy gossip. Let's have it.
So there is a Twitter account in this area that is run by people in a different area of the region. They've branded themselves as the third region hoops because that's what region we are. We're in the third region. And I've never really been a big fan of them. I think that they're too much in it for themselves instead of putting it on the kids. They do all of the little things like, well, we said this was going to happen and look what happened. And I don't know. I don't like that. So on Tuesday, Grayson County played Owensboro Catholic. Owensboro Catholic plays at the Owensboro Sports Center. I know you've been there once or twice, Leroy. It's a old arena in Owensboro, very old. And it's a big size, but they have hosted the regional playoffs, which is the round right before state, every year since 2011. And for Grayson County, it's an hour drive. And if the boys and girls both play, they have to travel, an hour every single night to keep going to those games.
Right.
So obviously for us that's the only sport in the region that doesn't move it around. So we're like, hey, why don't you give Grayson County the chance to host it? Well, they don't ever understand. Yeah, no, Paul, you're good. We're a day late, but we're still here.
Oh, why don't you just travel? Why don't you just travel well, Sam? Not my fault. Y'all don't travel well.
So on Tuesday night during the game, Chase is right here. He'll follow it. I just and the thing is that they made some comments on social media that were untrue with it, saying that I said some certain things. Now I did say only facts, saying that like I said that Owensboro Catholic's head coach has been there 11 years. He's won 6 regional titles. He hasn't had to play 1 regional game on the road though. Fact. Owensboro Catholic is the only school that gets to host both the boys and girls regional in the state every single year. Fact. Grayson lost. So the next day, I'm on Twitter and my color analyst sends me a tweet. And they're just like, hey, look what they're saying about you. And long story short, they were not happy with me taking some rips at the Owensboro Sports Center. So they pretty much said something along the lines of, there were some media members really loud complaining about the Sports Center. And what I really wanted to respond and be like, you want to just tag me next time? Because I'm the one. And then, like, one of the things that really, I don't know if upset me was the right one, but kind of annoyed me is they responded to someone else being like, well, the Owensboro Catholic fans had to sit there and listen to it all night. Was I sitting there like with a gun to their head being like, you've got to listen to my broadcast? I'm the Grayson County broadcaster. Guess who agrees with me? The Grayson County fans. So it was just but still, so it was a big argument, and it's still going to be an argument. Like today, they actually had a big crowd for the first time since I've been here. Big crowd for one of those games. But it's more of just one of these things that that side can't understand where we're coming from.
Right.
But
they've never had to deal with it.
And as I said, one of my tweets is the ones complaining were at the game. I'm not even sure that they heard it. Yeah, that's the funniest part about it is they heard it from someone else who told it to someone else, and then they got it. So it was all secondhand information, which is kind of funny. But and there was another point I was going to make, but no, completely gone. It was a great point, Leroy. It was going to be a great point that I was going to make, but just that's why you don't get old, because you completely forget about things that you're going to say. But no, it was annoying, and they then started taking shots at Grayson as a whole.
Right.
Which how they can't see it from our side. Yeah, it's true. They can't, because as I said, thank you, Chase. He brought it back to me. There we go. It all comes around. So I said, you know what? If the game were in Litchfield every single year, I wouldn't want it moved either. If I could roll out of bed, because the media on that side are like, well, why would we want to move it? Like, I don't blame you. If I
wouldn't want to move it either. I want the tournaments in Taylorville every single year. You know why? Because now I got to travel 45. I was so excited. This year's tournament was in Springfield. I had to go a whole 28 minutes to get there. Yeah. When most of the time, I feel like an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yeah, see, it's an hour to Owensboro.
Yeah.
And the complaint is that Grayson County didn't bring a good big crowd. Okay. You want to be honest here? It was a Tuesday night, 8:00 game, an hour away.
No exception.
It was raining, and they had no shot of winning. I mean, they didn't. Like, if we're just being honest. I mean, listen, it's just like they weren't going to win the game. They weren't.
Yeah.
Owensboro Catholic is the 5th best team in the state. Like,
yeah,
it's just one of those things that, you know, we obviously we're going to be there to broadcast it because that's what we do.
Yep.
But the average fan is not going to drive a 2-hour round trip in the pouring rain to watch their team lose by 40. And pay, like, tickets at the Sports Center like $10 a pop too. So you got to think family of 4, $40.
$40
plus get yourself get yourself a hot dog and a drink too. You're looking at 60 or 70. I don't know. I got everybody riled up, and I appreciate it, because now I've made everybody mad. So it's been this thing over these past 48 hours that it happens every year. But I also appreciate it that, like, Edmond, you know,
Edmondson, Grayson Edmondson, Twitter following.
Yeah, Grayson Edmondson, you know, big rivalry, right? But they agree on this. So it's like one of these things, like, we don't like you, but we're with you here.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let me tell you.
Exactly. So it's just, it's really funny. Really funny when it comes to that. But still, so basketball is officially over on this side as well.
I had, I went and did play-by-play, or I thought I was going to do play-by-play this weekend as UIS took on Trevecca Nazarene out of Nashville.
Very familiar.
Yeah.
We're not very familiar, but I have heard of it.
I get there and I don't see my table up for me at all when I get there. And I went up to my SID and I said, hey, where am I setting up? And she goes, oh, you're PA today. And I went, all right. Never done PA before. This should be, at least not for baseball. I've done PA for racing, which obviously is very different. So I had to do PA, which was very enjoyable. I had to laugh because Christy heard my call and she goes, aren't you supposed to be unbiased on this? And I said, no, not for PA. PA, I don't have to be unbiased. PA, I can be whatever way I want to be. That's the nice thing about it. So you can be like, coming up next, Brand Vanneman. Number 32, John Johnson.
Well, see, and that was the funniest thing to me is with that tweet. They're like, they had to listen to it. I'm the Grayson County homer. I'm not there supposed to be talking all about Owensboro Catholic. They could listen to their guys.
Wig, Paul. It's a purple wig. Get it right.
Ben's a nice guy. Their radio guy. He's a nice fella. He's just wrong about this. And I talked to him before the game. We're cool. He votes in our poll. What happens, right? NFL free agency, though, Leroy, starts Monday.
Yeah, that was part of my
I want to go over this with you here. I found an article from The Athletic that was posted earlier today going over, just because this really affects you, going over the teams that need quarterbacks entering next year and tying them to either a quarterback in the draft, in free agency, via trade, or something like that. This is The Athletic predicting how this is all going to go out. So I found it very interesting. So for one, they had 15 teams that are locked in, nothing to see here. Those are players like Allen, Burrow, Goff, Herbert, Hurts, Jackson, so on. Like you've got starters. Then they added a next tier, which is safe but something to prove, which was Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, and Deshaun Watson. The next one was young, unaccomplished but safe, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young. Unaccomplished but probably safe is Will Levis. TBD, Daniel Jones, and Geno Smith, which left 9 teams that they classified as open for business. Bears, Broncos, Bucks, Commanders, Falcons, Patriots, Raiders, Steelers, and Vikings.
Well, the Steelers interviewed Russell Wilson today, so congrats Steelers fans.
So here it is. You want to know? So here are the potential ones that they said, potential quarterbacks out there. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Those are obviously the big ones in the draft. Free agency, Cousins, Mayfield, Minshew, Rudolph, Tannehill, Wilson, Brissett, Flacco, Taylor, Garoppolo. And then trade, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, and Justin Fields.
Right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
For this here? Should we end with the Bears or start with the Bears?
End with them.
Okay. Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield. Re-signing. Makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know how you could let him walk out the door.
Not
there.
with the season that he had. There's no way.
He was great. He revitalized his career.
Correct.
Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins.
Atlanta Falcons?
Atlanta.
Go ahead.
Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, according to Diana Rossini from The Athletic, they believe Cousins is the type of player who moves them from a fringe playoff team to a contender.
Okay.
I kind of agree. I mean, I am not a Kirk Cousins
hater. Are they one quarterback away? And his Cousins that answer?
I mean, as they brought up the point, they've got their running back, Bijan Robinson. They've got a good wide receiver, Drake London. And they have Kyle Pitts, technically, even though Kyle Pitts hasn't really done anything. Right. Defense is not bad, but I don't know. Here you go. This is one I know you're going to appreciate. The Vikings. Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson. And I'm just like, is there a difference? Is there a difference between Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson? But as this says, to me, I can't imagine, because they kind of contradicted themselves in this article, because who do the Vikings have that they're trying to sign to a contract extension? Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson.
What is Justin Jefferson going to say if Sam Darnold is his starting quarterback next year?
Get me out.
Yeah. Like, why would he want something like that? Broncos. Sam Howell making a trade for him from the Commanders.
Yep.
To kind of fit, because the biggest thing with the Broncos is they have no cap flexibility. No room at all. Commanders, Drake May. With the number 2 pick, they take him. The Raiders, Jaden Daniels. They trade up to grab him. The Patriots, Jacoby Brissett and Bo Nix, which seems very interesting. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett and Ryan Tannehill. The Seahawks, Geno Smith,
Yeah.
and Michael Penix Jr.
Okay.
Which here's
they
an
are very
thing.
They're very similar. So
But they have one very stark difference that I don't really know how much of an impact that this really has. And do you know what difference I'm talking about?
What?
It's actually something that I think we have in common.
What's it? Oh, left-handers?
Geno Smith's right-handed. Michael Penix Jr. is left-handed.
Right. Okay.
Can that work as your backup quarterback? I don't know the answer to that. But I find it interesting. Giants.
When's the last time a left-handed quarterback won anything?
Tebow?
Tua? Oh, Tua's left-handed too, yeah.
Tua?
Yeah.
Giants, Daniel Jones, and J.J. McCarthy. So that leaves us with one team. The Chicago Bears.
I already hate where this is going.
Let's get the easy one out of the way first, they say. Chicago.
Back up.
Drafts the clear number one prospect in this draft and builds its team around him, Caleb Williams. Yes, Christy, I am a lefty. Caleb Williams.
But see, the thing is, I am all, and I was going to bring this up in my, I named my little tidbit segment hot off the press. But it's interesting to see that these, you know, when you look at these teams and you look at this free agency for the salary cap went up 13.6% from $224.8 million to $255 million per team. So a lot of these teams can be a little bit more flexible with how they're doing things. But so with that being said, why are there so many below average quarterbacks being grabbed by these teams? There's a lot of average names that were listed there. Forget the Bears. Forget what Chicago's doing. There are a lot of average. I mean, Sam Howell, come on.
So here's what's interesting. They go through and they have other quarterback predictions. So Leroy, I guess, so let's tell you, Caleb Williams is the pick. Like, let's just say I'm from the future and I say that that's what happened. Your follow-up question is probably going to be, what do they do with Justin Fields? Here's their prediction. So you keep him?
I keep, and I'll tell you, go ahead and say it, and I'll say why I say keep him. Go ahead.
This one makes me go, and I think Forrest will be very much in agreement here. Please. The Browns trade for Justin Fields to back up Deshaun Watson. Please. Please. Please let that happen. Please let that happen. That would yes. Let's make that happen. Colts sign Russell Wilson to back up Anthony Richardson.
Back up AR.
Which seems interesting. I just don't see Russell Wilson being the Browns don't even draft capital to trade for the number one pick.
Is Russell Wilson better than Minshew?
No, I don't know that he is. John, is he?
John, who do you want? Who do you want, Russell Wilson or Gardner Minshew?
I mean, I'd take Gardner Minshew over the bum that is Anthony Richardson. Stand by that. Lions signed Jared Goff to an extension. Mac Jones gets traded. Gardner Minshew, speak about him. Oh, yeah. He's going to the Jets to back up Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Joe Flacco to the Rams. And the Raiders release Jimmy Garoppolo, and he signs with the Texans to back up C.J. Stroud. That's just
Joe Flacco has worked his way back into getting a decent. Someone going to pay him good for what he did last year. There's just no way. There's no way that he goes without being at least signed to a team this year, but just because of how good he was. Paul, I think he was too good for him to go back to the couch. Which, by the way, Paul, I saw your hockey thing. When I give my little tidbits, I got all my hockey news in my little tidbits. So we'll get to that before we do logos. But yeah, no, I don't know. The only reason I say keep Justin Fields is a lot of these teams have been able to make it work. You have the veteran or somewhat veteran QB lead the team a little bit, and then the next guy takes over. Now, there's no way in hell Chicago is doing that. There's just too much ego there for it to work, and the Bears aren't a good team at figuring that kind of stuff out. But in a perfect world, that would be nice if they could do that. But yeah, I still lean towards where I think they're going to go pick up, where they're going to go Caleb Williams. I don't think it's the right decision, but I think that's what they're going to do. There's just no way that they don't. There's too many people that are going to be kicking themselves if Caleb Williams does well.
Percentage chance.
Pick him up.
Percentage chance that on April the 20, whatever it is, that Caleb Williams' name is called first and he's putting on a Chicago Bears hat. Percentage chance.
65. Which has gone way up from the last time we talked.
Yes. No. Because I've made a note to ask you this like once a month.
Yep.
Because I think it's interesting. And I agree with Paul here. I always love these articles. More just because I love when they predict the actual free agents as well. Just because I find it really interesting. But would I rather have Williams, May, or Daniels if Burrow didn't exist? That sounds like a dark, did I mention dark world that I don't want to live in, John.
And Paul, listen, I agree. If I'm Chicago's GM, I keep Fields and I draft Marvin Harrison Jr. But I just don't see the Bears organization doing that.
That's what I'm doing. If I'm the Bears, and I'll say this, if I was the Bengals in this scenario, I would be opening up the auction block.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got for that number 1 pick? And then hoping that you get somebody like the Panthers, as an example of a team that trades up, and then you get another high draft pick, and you're hoping next year that there's another. I don't know who the top quarterback is in next year's draft. I can look at that as we're going around, but you're hoping that next year's draft has a better quarterback.
Here's the thing that cracks me up, and I've talked about this before on this show. The amount of people that go off these fake messages that are like, oh, there's heavy rumors that, that the Bears are going to do this, the Bears are going to do that. Why would our wonderful GM tip his hand about anything that he's doing? There's no way that any of these, and if they are tipping their hat, they're doing it on purpose. Everything that they let out to the media is calculated. Everything that gets out gets out for a reason. I just don't see these stupid like media guys that have these inside connections. No, you don't. You don't got nothing. All of these stupid little fake Fields is unhappy, or Caleb Williams wants this, or Caleb Williams wants that. Who cares?
I do think I might want to take back what I said too, because I'm looking at the quarterbacks of next year, and this is just very, very, very obviously very early.
Sanders kid's one of the best better ones on there. McCarthy, is JJ McCarthy coming back?
No, he's a top 10 pick.
Is he this year?
We mentioned him. Carson Beck. It has Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is an interesting one from Texas.
Yes.
I think he'll be the first one taken next year. And then you've got some of these older guys like Riley Leonard, Will Howard. I would love for the Bears to draft DJ Uiagalelei, just because I really want to hear. He's got to go though to a team like Carolina. You got that thick accent, even though he went to Clemson, so they would at least probably know how to say his name. But still, you got to have somebody like that it's like, how do you say like right now, Kentucky has a guy, Zvonimir Ivisic is his name.
Oh.
He's just Big Z. Kentucky fans, Ivisic? What? We can't say that. So it's just absolutely. Chase says Bears need to draft Austin Reed. Him and Corley on the same team would torch the league. No, Malachi Corley's going to the Bengals. Chase, sorry. And Austin Reed is not getting drafted. Running back.
Where does
available.
Saquon Barkley go?
I don't know. Especially, excuse me, all of those top running backs. Because you've got guys like
there are a ton.
Same thing with safeties.
Yeah. There are a ton of free agent.
You got Derrick Henry. You've got Josh Jacobs as kind of the top 3. in that realm. But then you've also got Austin Eckler,
Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Devin Singletary, and I haven't even started scratching the surface on these guys.
J.K. Dobbins was somebody we talked about on my Bengals podcast a couple of weeks ago. John's right. Joe Mixon. I fully expect him to be on that list. And if he's not, I'm going to be a very angry Bengals fan. And that is the most polarizing Bengals topic to talk about. And this is not a Bengals about Joe Mixon. It's just very.
What's the general consensus among Bengals fans, Sam?
It is split, and it is split. But J.K. Dobbins is an interesting one because in 4 years he's played 24 games. 24 games. That's not even a season and a half in 4 years.
Fantastic.
When he's healthy, he's averaged 5.8 yards a carry.
The problem is he's never
when
healthy.
He's healthy. Exactly. So I know that Spot Rack, which is a pretty good prediction as far as what people will predict him to get, has a 2-year, $4 million contract for him. So my thought process is it's like, and I was talking about this with Mick on Bengals. It was like, would you take a lottery ticket on a guy like J.K. Dobbins for 1 year, $2 million? And then if he comes up and he gets hurt, okay, it's $2 million.
Gus Edwards and A.J. Dillon were on that list as well.
Yes, A.J. Dillon is somebody I would love the Bengals to get. You've also got Zach Moss on that list as well, who had a really good run there with the Colts, but when Jonathan Taylor was doing whatever Jonathan Taylor was doing, hurt, hold out, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Mixon is polarizing running back.
Hey, McCaffrey, that's McCaffrey for me. When I draft McCaffrey, he gets hurt in week 3. When I don't draft him, he burns me for 35 points every week.
Gotta love it, right? Gotta love it.
I hate fantasy, but and I won this year. I won my league this year, and I'm still hate Christian McCaffrey, man.
I got in third, and hold hurt out, something like that, John, whatever it is. Do you have any prediction for the Bears in free agency? Since that literally, when we have our show next Wednesday, free agency will have opened that day, so we might have new players on each of our team. Do you have any prediction for whether a signing, a release, a trade, or something happening by this time next week?
I was very pleased in one hand and freaked out in the other. The Bears did sign Jalen Johnson to an extension today.
That's the corner, right?
76 cornerback, one of the best cornerbacks in the game right now. $76 million for him, which means that since he got paid, he's going to take his foot off the gas and get burned over and over again, because that's just how it is in Chicago. But no, it's interesting when you look at some of these guys and who is available as far as free agency, simply because the Bears have so much money. The Bears have some of the most money to spend.
So the Bengals
in this offseason. So I'm interested to see if they go heavy. So far, Ryan Poles been very draft heavy. We lean heavily on the draft. That's where we get our he hasn't touched free agency hardly at all. I know he had the trade at the mid for what's his name from the Commanders that did really well.
Sweat.
Montez Sweat, which was a fantastic deal that Chicago made with the Commanders.
And then they also, why did they give a second freaking round pick for freaking Chase Claypool? Why?
Because they could change him, and then they didn't, and then he went to Miami and did the same thing in Miami. So yes, we've established that we made a mistake with that one. But you know what? I really think that the Bears might go for and then Josh Jacobs has expressed interest in playing for Chicago. So really? I think the Bears will pick up a running back. Whether it's Jacobs, I'm not sure, but I think Barkley and Jacobs will both be Bears by the time we reach that point.
I know the Bengals have been rumored for a guy by the name of Darnell Mooney from the Bears as well.
And listen, let that be a lesson too. Mooney turned down a 3-year extension this last year in the hopes that he could play well and raise his draft stock. Except he didn't, and probably will lose money that he could have got if he would have.
And now he has a chance of playing for a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, until your boy gets hurt week 4, and then you have nothing, right?
And he's off the show because when you take shots at Joe Burrow, Paul Forrest, any of you want to come on instead? Because it would be a much more enjoyable performance than to have this jackwagon on the show. You know what? I'm glad my logos are hard today. I'm glad they're hard. I'm glad after that comment. In fact, I was even considering giving you a cheat today. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'm not sure. I'm grouchy now. When I'm grouchy.
Shut up, Forrest.
Wow.
There are no
Forrest, you're gonna enjoy the logos today. Do you have your tidbits, or do you want to drop those?
I do. Hot off the press. Yeah, Bears signed Jalen Johnson, $76 million. A fake Twitter account says that the Bears are trading the number 1 pick. Fans immediately ate it up as gospel. You know any guys that do that over on the Bengals? Like they find a fake tweet and they're all like, "Oh my gosh!" Like
everybody does that.
Dude, it's so annoying. Caitlin Clark is declared for the NBA draft. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark, breaking the record for most points scored all time. I still say Pete Maravich is the best, but I understand the love for Caitlin Clark. Las Vegas Aces, speaking of WNBA, Las Vegas Aces have announced that they have sold out the rest of the year sold out all of next season. First time that the WNBA team has sold out completely.
Yeah, he meant WNBA draft, Paul.
Yeah, not NBA, sorry, WNBA. Although I would laugh hysterically if the Detroit Pistons have odds right now to sign Caitlin Clark, which is hysterical. All right, NHL trade deadline. Some pretty good moves there. Lightning's pick up Anthony Duclair. Avalanche acquired Yakov.
What?
Trenin.
What? No, they didn't do that.
They signed Trenin to an entry-level contract and immediately traded him to the Predators. Can you imagine signing an entry-level contract and getting promptly traded to the Steelers? All right. Avalanche also really have gone big. They signed Brandon Duhaime. Oilers pick up Troy.
Duhaime? Seriously? Wow.
Hey, I really wish I could mute you. Shut up. Predators acquire Anthony Beauvillier from the Blackhawks. Maple Leafs acquire Joel Edmondson for a couple picks. Golden Knights pick up Noah Hannafin. Rangers pick up Alexander Wenberg. Avalanche acquire Casey Middlestead. But the big moves today, Getzlav, Steelers, Penguins.
Excuse you?
Yeah. Carolina.
Did Gretzky get traded?
Hurricanes get Gensel. What?
Gretzky? Did he get moved?
Yes, he got moved to...
What about Bobby Orr?
Playing hard, man. Playing hard. Hurricanes and Penguins got the Gensel trade to go through. Devils are trying to work out an extension for Tyler Toffoli, but that appears to have fallen through. And they're shopping.
Here's the thing about this. You could have just completely made up all those names.
Yes, but I have hockey friends that are on the chat. Unlike you.
I'm saying I would have had not a clue. Not a clue. Not
right, what else you got? Mike Tyson set to face Jake Paul in what should be an absolutely bore-fest fight. Congrats to LeBron James on scoring 40,000 points. And NASCAR has announced that they're looking at racing at Dodger Stadium. I don't quite know how that's going to work, but that's the rumor that went on today. There's my hot off the press for the from the Pressbox tidbits for the day.
So I guess it's time for logos then, right?
Sure.
So I'm going to leave it up to the people. Now, I'll admit, Leroy, this week is
Forrest is already.
No, the logos have been picked. The logos have been picked. I'm not changing the logos. So what I will say is, do I want to give Leroy a lifetime on these logos since they are challenging? And I'm just going to let them vote just right now, yes or no, and whichever one wins out, I will give you one lifeline that you can use on one of the three. I've got 2 lifelines. You can pick one of them to use at one point on the 3 logos. So it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? If they will decide that you should get this is just probably going to be a one-time thing. So it's just yes or no whether Leroy deserves to get a lifeline today on Leroy's logos, because you're doing well recently. You've gotten at least 2 in the last 4 weeks. So you're 9.5 out of your last 16. You're hitting 401. 401 here. So you're above 400. So look at that. Okay. Paul writes in and says you get a lifeline. Okay, so here it is. You get to 1. I'll give you a hint based
Are you
on
wearing a rugby hat?
I am. I was wondering how long it took you to.
Have you ever even watched a rugby game?
All the time. I'm a big South African rugby fan. Big.
All right, go ahead.
So, you know, I have family that used to live in South Africa.
I do.
So they got me this hat.
I love
it.
That's fantastic.
Okay. So your lifelines. 1 is me giving you a hint.
Okay.
Or 2, I will show you all of the comments of the guesses.
Oh.
Usually I don't. So you get to use one of those 2 at one point on this. Okay? Name a team. South Africa. This is the South African national team, Paul. They're really good at rugby. Hey,
They
Justin.
actually are.
Appreciate you for tuning in. Yes, no, them in New Zealand every year.
They're not the New Zealand Blacks, but they're pretty damn good.
Well, see, so what's funny is that one of the other big rugby teams, I don't remember where it's from, the Reds. So we got it's a rival of South Africa. So for 1 year for Christmas, we got my uncle a sweatshirt that said Reds on it for Cincinnati Reds. And he apparently wore it to the gym. And everybody was like, what are you wearing? And he's like, Cincinnati Reds, baseball. So it's just really, really fun. I don't remember what nation it is.
Baseball.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny. But in South Africa, they obviously have no idea. Okay, Leroy, enough chatter. You get to use one of those 2 hints. Oh, look at Forrest here. 1, 2, or 3, Leroy?
1.
I'm even nice enough to give you the nickname. So again, you get to use one of those 2 hints at one point. So you get one of them in the 3. So your decision is if you want to use it this round, you can, or you can wait and use it the next round. Or
Is
the third round.
that Division II school Purdue Northwest? They're the Lions.
No, it is not. Sorry. Would you like door number 1?
Is this a Division? Is this a Division I school?
It is. It absolutely is. I was even nice enough and gave you their nickname. Not that that's going to help you, but
I will go with California Berkeley.
John's very helpful here. I'm going to be nice and give you that one for free. He says it's not the Detroit Lions, if that helps you. Cal Berkeley is your guess, and Leroy, you are... I think you are incorrect. You are incorrect. Let's see. I have one comment here to pull up. Paul has no idea. Not the BC Lions. Forrest doesn't even have a guess, which makes me think that he does not know that is Texas A&M Commerce.
Texas A&M Commerce. You're such a dick.
Texas A&M Commerce. Leroy, would you like 2 or 3?
If I grabbed 1 million Americans right now, maybe one of them would get that answer correct.
Me.
Did you know that before today?
Yes. 2 or 3? 2.
Oh.
Forrest did not know that one.
I'm wrong.
Do you know this one?
I'm wrong, but I think I know.
Oh. I'm intrigued. Leroy, what is this?
Is that the University of Rhode Island?
The University of Rhode Island. He's going to save his cheats. Are you going to save your cheats and use that as your answer?
Yeah.
That is. Let's see if our commenters have gotten this one. Chase is right. The former employee of one Steve Lutz. Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
There's no islands in Texas, you morons.
Texas in Corpus Christi there is. Down there in the southern portion. Looking for us, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Okay, Leroy. 0 of 2 so far. So the final one, and you get a hint. You can use one of your 2 hints here. So you get to use one of them, unless you don't want to, which, I mean, you don't have to, but for the final Leroy logo of today, that's kind of hard to see.
What is this? Texas A&M Texas? Is that what this one is, you jack?
Yeah, actually, Chase is right. The College of Texas Corpus Christi is on an island. Look up their campus. It's awesome. Like, in fact, I almost need to pull up a picture of it because and put it up on screen because it is awesome.
Oh, that is pretty nice.
Yeah, like they're in their baseball field. Like,
yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. That'll be gone the next hurricane hits. That's gorgeous. Wow, look at that baseball field.
Yeah, I got to. Okay, so you have one of your two hints. You can either use me giving you a hint, or you can see the comments. Leroy, which one would you like?
I'll take one of your hints.
So you're not going to trust the comments. Okay. My hint is former University of Kentucky basketball coach Billy Gillispie is currently their basketball head coach.
All right.
You know what? I'm a nice guy. There you go. Because I'm a nice guy.
I mean, I was going to say Texas A&M Texarkana, but
is that a place? Oh,
Texarkana?
well, here is your Texas A&M Corpus Christi too. Look at that.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Look at that baseball field right there. That's
pretty awesome.
That's fantastic.
Pretty awesome. Okay. There it is. Leroy, what is your guess?
Yeah, Texas A&M. What Forrest said. Texas A&M Tarleton.
So you're going with what Forrest says?
Yep.
You're going to trust Forrest.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous game.
No, it's not.
Correct. Tarleton State. Tarleton State is that one. So Forrest was able to pull that one out. So I at least stumped Forrest once today. That was at least part of my goal. So Leroy, you've gotten 1 out of 3 today. What is the theme?
They're all schools in Texas.
There you go. At least made the theme easy for you. So 2 out of 4. There you go. It's not bad.
I am intrigued with this Corpus Christi campus, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So that is why they are the Islanders, is because it is on there. Yeah, but Billy Gillispie, the former head coach at UK, is the head coach there, and they are rumored to potentially be an addition into Conference USA.
Interesting.
And they
does WKU stay in Conference USA this year?
Yes. Yes. You're not hitting 404 too, Leroy. You're headed in the right direction, which kind of worries me a little bit. Yes, I got to get harder. No, I've already got the next 5 weeks planned out, so I won't change. Won't change. I admitted that they were tough, Paul. At least I was honest. And I gave you a line. What's my thought on the Blue Jays this year? Justin says, this year it's looking rough. I don't read anything into spring training. And I think, Leroy, I know that was one of the topics that we were almost going to talk about a little bit today. Yeah. I don't read anything to spring training, and you agree, right?
Correct. Because listen, and I've heard this before, and I kind of talked about this a little bit last week, was, we saw Yu Darvish pitch one time, and Yu Darvish gave up 4 home runs and 3 walks, and they were like, bro, what happened out there? And he goes, I was working on a new pitch. He goes, I threw the same pitch over and over again. I was just working on a new pitch. So you can take spring training results and kind of just there are individual performances that I think you kind of keep an eye on, like Javi Baez, 0 for 12 with 6 strikeouts. That's
new?
Pete Crow Armstrong is not playing good baseball here coming out of the
Is he still with the Tigers?
Baez? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Pete Crow
Talk about somebody regretting their contract.
Dude, and all those guys that won for the Cubs, all of them except for maybe Rizzo have absolutely just gone way downhill in the last 3-4 years. Been insane how much that they've just trailed off.
Yeah, it. I don't know. It just shows you that you win, and that's all. All it matters, really, in some instances, that it goes along with it.
And I realize, 2016 was a while ago, but and again, Justin, I don't think you need to even worry about it yet. Once the regular season starts, you get through the first 3-4 weeks, you get to like May. If there's still issues, then you can really kind of go, okay, there we got issues, but it's way too early, especially when guys are working on stuff. And
I got some breaking news for you, Leroy.
Do you?
The Reds and the Cubs tied again tonight.
Yeah.
Good job.
Michael Busch hit a home run that went pretty. I think you guys had one.
Spencer Steer hit one over the scoreboard as well.
Scoreboard, yeah.
Would you like to ask or answer first in our play clock segment?
I will answer first. I think I asked first last week, brother.
Okay. You ready for a Mount Rushmore here?
Sure.
Mount Rushmore. Actually, I'm going to come back to that. Mick and I have a disagreement, and I need you to settle it. In the car, when you're driving, here's a picture.
Okay.
Which of these cup holders is for the driver?
And
which one is for the passenger?
So the driver gets the back one. The driver gets the one in the back, and the passenger gets the one in the front. At least that's the way that me and my color guy do it when we drive places in our car. Because generally, right, with the way that at least the way that car is, the stick shift basically blocks the whole front one. So that's why we have it set up that way. Now, with that being said, it's it's usually the drink that's easiest to grab. So, and that, with the car example that you showed, it would probably be the front one, just because.
Now, see, you're right the first time. It's the back driver. The back goes to the
I thought it was the back. That's in our vehicle. It's the back one. It's the driver's one.
Sorry, to our comment section, you're wrong. You all are wrong. It's for one. The most important thing is it's the driver's decision, because it's his or her car, and he is in control of the vehicle at the time. Mick and I have had this discussion. He believes that he has access to the back cup holder, but I say no, it's my car, so I get access to the back one. So I just wanted you to settle that, and thank you for choosing my side. I wish you was watching. Closer
or you just make them put their drink in the driver in the window. Like,
I don't have one of those. It won't fit though. You both are animals.
That's right.
I think we're both just correct, if you ask me. Okay, I'm ready.
The Cincinnati Bengals win 3 championships in 15 years, but the Steelers win 4 during that time. Do you accept? Do you take that pill, or do you say nope? I'm just gonna let the cards play out the way and see what happens.
I mean, listen, I'm fine with 1 championship. That's all I want. It's just 1. I'm happy. I'm 1. That's all it is. Just give me the 1. And plus, the way the Steelers are heading, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that at all. Am I supposed to be scared of Russell Wilson as the Steelers quarterback? Please let that happen. Justin Fields,
never just take
please let that happen.
You always got to
please let me have that. Of course. Well, hey, please let it happen. But yeah, give me a championship, since I've never seen one for the Bengals. I don't really care necessarily what happens for that.
Dang, Justin, you got a Facebook warning for calling us animals. See, that's what you get for messing with. You get the mess with the beast. You get the horns.
It's pretty accurate. Okay, now I'm gonna hit you up with your Mount Rushmore, Leroy.
All right, let's hear it. I'll mess this up, but let's hear it.
Yeah, because you're probably gonna be wrong on it. So, fast food fries, Mount Rushmore.
Fries.
The fries from fast food restaurants. Your Mount Rushmore. So it needs to be 4.
Okay.
What are they?
Arby's, McDonald's, Steak and Shake.
That's a good answer.
And Chick-fil-A. Those are my 4.
No Wendy's love? Because you're wrong on Arby's.
That's fine. I will enjoy my. Oh my goodness! I forgot Checkers.
And see, I don't like those either.
Paul's a beast, man. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, Checkers, Arby's. Yeah, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
What
That's
is
pretty
Harvey's
right there? Huh?
Do you know what Harvey's is?
Harvey's?
Yes.
Hardee's.
No, he says Harvey's. Is it supposed to be Hardee's? Maybe it is.
That's Canadian. I don't know any Harvey's.
I don't know that.
That's Canada, man.
Wendy's is the worst fries. That's just the wrong take. I think you know who has really good fries that are Harvey's slaps. I've never heard of it.
It's because it's Hardee's. It's Canadian, Sam.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that. I've heard of Tim Hortons. You know, that's Canadian.
Okay, you're not completely uncultured.
No, it's a fast food burger chain. Been around. So is it like McDonald's?
Yeah, where are they most similar to Tyler and Justin? Where are they most similar to as far as American? Let's check it out. Let me look.
Yeah, give us a. But I tell you who has really good fries that are underrated is KFC.
Oh, you know what they look like? They look like Red Robin.
Oh, so
their burgers,
then they're
burgers, not. Yeah, their burgers look like. Let's
let's
get a picture. Hold on, let's get a picture of their fries here. Let me see. Oh, hey, those fries look pretty good. Hey boys, their fries look pretty good.
I'm giving it a Google right now.
Harvey's pit fries. That looks pretty pretty delicious.
It looks like actually, more of a Wendy's.
Yeah. Five Guys.
Yeah. John, you're exactly right. KFC's new fries are great. And Paul, if you get
England had fries long before America did. I don't know. Christy might remember England, but England and KFC, England fries were pretty good.
Now, here's an important question for you because I think it's valid. Would I be allowed to put Sonic's tots in this conversation?
Oh,
is a tot a fry?
I'll allow it. Because we threw in Chick-fil-A waffle fries, right?
But is a waffle fry is more of a fry. I'd argue that Paul, they all say no.
Ooh, they all say no.
John says
John's on your side. John's on your side. John says, yeah,
let's be real.
Potatoes.
Sonic's tots are delicious.
They are.
When they're fresh.
We're getting a Sonic. We lost our Sonic to meth. They're building a new one.
We were in Owensboro for the big game earlier this week, and they're building a new one there. That's the nicest Sonic, because every Sonic I've ever seen looks exactly the same, you know?
Yes.
And this one is nice. Is a hash brown a fry? And see, I would say no there, but then again, a tot is really a hash brown.
Tyler's trying to catch you. Trying to get you in that. Catch 22.
I don't know.
Hash browns are breakfast fries.
Paul, you're hating on KFC fries. Try it next time. They're good. Have you had them?
Yeah.
They got good seasoning on them and everything. He can air fry the best tots in the universe.
We have some of the best conversations, boys. I just want you to know that. We have some of the best conversations.
But you know who even has fries that are not terrible? Taco Bell. They're not bad.
Oh, not
with the nacho fries?
Nacho fries, man.
It's all the same. It's all potatoes, your wife says. Or mashed potatoes or squishy fries.
Mashed potatoes or squishy fries. Stop it, John.
Yeah, see, I'm upset that you all we're crapping on Wendy's. Vodka liquid fries.
Okay. With a little kick.
Gosh, now I'm trying to think of the other places that have really good fries. Dairy Queen's onion rings are pretty tasty. But see, onion ring I know is a category all of its own. Because White Castle's got decent onion rings, but it's very rare for me to go. Onion ring.
Yeah,
very rare. Do you like crinkle at Waffle House or at Waffle House? White Castle. Like, are you in or out on the crinkle?
I'm all right with the crinkle. all right with crinkle.
Okay, I'm ready for my last question. I am looking though right now at Harvey's poutine. I don't know what it looks like. Mozzarella sticks on top. That
Dude,
looks.
it looks fantastic. It looks like a horseshoe here. It looks like our horseshoe.
I don't know what that is either.
You got to look up hold on.
You've never had white? I guess is
Yeah,
White Castle is crystal. Paul,
you gotta look up Central Illinois horseshoe. That's our version of Canadian poutine.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a restaurant.
No. Just the. All right, Sam, you
Okay.
ready?
Well, now I'm distracted. Okay. Okay. So it's cheese fries.
Yeah. But like they throw other stuff in there like bacon and things like that as well.
Cheese fries. Okay.
There's a rumor that Mr. Manfred wants to extend spring training by 2 weeks here in the next couple years. Is spring training too long? Too short? Just right? What do you think about spring training for MLB baseball?
To answer Paul's question, Crystal and White Castle are pretty much the same thing. In all seriousness, it's the same idea. So, and yes, White Castle will destroy you if you do not. Because I saw a meme, and I'll answer your question here in a second. I saw a meme that was describing the Cincinnatian meal was a White Castle slider dipping in Skyline chili, and my small intestines fell apart as I was reading it. But still, to answer your question, I think it does not need to be longer. There's no question about that. It does not need to be longer. But this question needs to go to the players because, fans, do they really care? Like, at what point are you really going to get into spring training? And the question is the last week right before opening day is when you're going to start reading it. I know I read articles, but if I'm being honest, in the Reds, I'm reading 1 or 2 articles a week. I'm not getting all the way into it. I'll follow the games, but more of just I have tweet notifications turned on. So if something happens, like today, I knew Spencer Steer hit a home run, but I couldn't tell you who has a high average or anything like that. I think it's at the right length than it is right now.
Well, and I'll tell you, we already deal with so many rainouts and cold temperatures, even at the start of baseball season as it is. I just can't imagine, I just wonder if that's why they want to stay down in Florida and Arizona for another couple weeks after that move the. But when you do that though, you're going into November, right? They're trying to make the season like I don't know how
you're going to hate this. I know you will. But in all seriousness, it wouldn't hurt me if they if anything, start spring training at the same time, but don't start the season until the second week of April. Like right after the Masters.
Do you want a shorter season?
Is there really that much of a difference between 162 and 140?
You already know that teams are still within a game of each other when we reach 162. There was like a 3-game difference between like who was it? Between in the American League East last year.
Yeah, I would be interested if they. I wish there was a way they could do a 140 game or something in that realm once, and just see if it would be a better playoff. Now the playoffs have been good recently, without question on that. But the biggest downside to me is that since baseball goes into October right now, and again, and I know this is not a popular take, but what runs October? If we're being 100% honest,
football,
the NFL. It just does. And
but
that
I don't see MLB conceding to the NFL. I don't see it.
I don't either. But should they? And that is Paul says they'd be close to play 302. He doesn't want less baseball. And I'm not like jumping on the fence saying, yes, we need 140 game or however many it is.
Yeah.
But if they announced that tomorrow and said, "Hey, we're not going to start until April 20th is opening day now," that's not going to completely hurt my feelings either. So, do you have your drivers, Leroy?
I do, my friend.
This is your segment. This is your segment where you, tell me.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I give Sam a driver. All he has to do is tell me whether it's an IndyCar driver, NASCAR driver, or F1 driver. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this ready. You want 1, 2, or 3?
2. Here, in fact, before you do that, we got to give a happy birthday shout out to Luke. He celebrated his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday,
happy
Luke!
Birthday.
Let me get my 45 seconds here as well as we're talking about driving.
Well, we'll have that at the end because we have to do our next week of our contest. So that loops into it. Is that okay?
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Because I have our results, which I don't like this game, Leroy. I don't like this game.
I bet
is a bad idea.
It's where Leroy gets his revenge.
You're welcome. You're welcome for doing a game that you're actually good at. But even then, there is some luck involved in it, too. Okay, I'm ready. Tako Matsushita or Sato. That's an IndyCar driver. Is that Sato?
I'm just really impressed that you were able to get the dude's last name. It's Takuma.
Takumishi.
That's not who this is.
No, it is. Yes, it is. You're wrong. Okay, 1 point me. You're wrong.
Are you saying IndyCar?
Yeah, yes, because he is. It's okay, Paul. Now that's just being racist, calling him Otani. Chase, so I guess it's Bottas. So he's F1.
He is F1. That's Zhu Ganyu. He's from China.
Well, bless you. I'm not. I'm just kidding, Paul. I know it's not racist. He does look like. I'm more just saying that it was me as well making a comment saying that it looked like. And to be honest with you, Libra, I don't know what Sato looks like. That is a person, though, right?
Yes, that's what I was like. I was all impressed. Takuma Sato is a IndyCar driver. He's done doing the full season. Now he just does the Indy 500. Do you want 3 or 1?
Just go in order. Did I not say 3 first?
You did not.
That guy.
You said 2.
No. That guy looks like a supervillain. I'm gonna say NASCAR. He looks American.
Is that your final answer?
Yep.
Yes, that's Kaz Gralla, NASCAR driver.
Who?
Exactly.
Who?
Kaz Gralla. Chase, help me out. That's Kaz.
That is not a real person.
He races for Rick Ware Racing and drives behind. Yeah, he's Kaz Gralla.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year. Are there only like 3 drivers in it?
He drives the number 36 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. At one point he had red hair, which I find hysterical.
When he was 15, he competed in a IndyCar race.
Really?
How did he? Or no, the International Motorsports Association race.
IMSA.
Yes, IMSA. And then he also won a race at 14 in the Automobile Racing Club of America. How
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
How is he driving at 14? That's what I want to. I do agree, Paul. These are all AI generated. That guy looks like he's on a list. Is he?
He's not on the list. But he did get called a science teacher today.
IndyCar.
Hey, you're doing pretty good, Sam. Yeah, that's Sebastian Bourdais, former IndyCar driver. He now drives with IMSA.
Is that a former 4-time champ? Is he?
Yeah. Did Sebastian Bourdais win 4 times? He won quite a few. I don't think he won 4 cups though. He's won. Oh yeah, he did win 4 successful championships.
Listen, let's be real here. I'm not gonna. If Chase says it, I'm believing it.
Yeah, no, Chase is right. He won 4 times from 04 to 07. He won champ cars. 04 to 07. That's pretty good. He's won 37 races.
Last week we started our NASCAR contest where we're picking the winner every single week, and we're involving you, the comments as well. Chase, since you're here, if you want to jump into the contest, you're more than welcome to. Because I think the pro to this contest is that you can come in late and still win. Because if you just keep picking winners, right now the standings are Leroy and Tyler both have 60 points for correctly predicting Kyle Larson to win. John has 30 points. I don't particularly remember who John picked. I had 18 for picking Kyle Busch, and Paul had 2 for picking Bubba Wallace. So that is the standings right now. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Las Vegas. And I guess since you're winning, Leroy, I guess I have to pick first, right?
Wait, they're in Las Vegas? I thought they were in Phoenix.
Sorry, Phoenix. That's right. Las Vegas was last week. Tyler, you're tied with Leroy for first. So if you want to drop in your pick into the comments right now, it is Phoenix. Yeah, I meant to say Phoenix. That's what it says here. I'll pick Joey Logano.
All right. And I will go with William Byron.
All righty. Paul, John, Tyler, Chase, if you want to drop in a pick, we can do that. John is with me, going with Logano, which I don't really know how that makes me feel. I was hoping to be the lone man here. Whoever Chase picks is going to be a big one because he actually follows this. Chase, if you want to join in, you're more than welcome. This would be a contest you very much could win. And Paul, if you want to drop in a pick, you can go for it. Chase is going to go Martin Truex, who I believe won it last year.
No, Ross Chastain won last year, so William Byron.
Ross Chastain won the second race, I guess.
Correct. William Byron won the first.
Okay, Martin Truex maybe won the year prior.
Truex won in 2021.
Okay. I did my research. And Logano won in 2022, I believe, right?
Yes, November of 2022.
I thought there was something.
Chastain, Byron, Logano, Briscoe, Larson, Truex, Elliott, Logano, Hamlin, and a guy who's not racing anymore named Kyle Busch.
Toyota will be a wild card this week. Paul's going to go Denny Hamlin. He's still racing, isn't he?
I'm interested to see how Toyota does this weekend.
Was that the race where he doesn't use his brakes?
No. Chastain didn't use his brakes at Martinsville.
That's right. I forgot about that. And because what was it that he needed to get like 12th or something?
He was like in 19th, and he went around and did a whole video game move. And
Tyler, if you have a pick too, you can drop it in the comments.
They put a little like camera block on the video game now. So like if you go around and use the wall, it like flips you around and does like this whole like spin thing, so you can't do it in the video game.
I don't remember what happened to Bubba, Paul, but he only had 2 points. I'm sorry to break that to you. But like we learned, I mean, Leroy is up big right now, but in NASCAR, it can be one of those things that next week.
It don't mean nothing.
Nope.
It don't mean nothing at all. Not this early in the season.
Because Byron could easily wreck on the first lap. You get 1 or 0 or however many it is, and Martin Truex Jr. wins. The next thing we know, Chase is in first place or something like that. Like that could literally work. Paul's also going to go with Denny Hamlin. So there we go. There are our picks. Is there any other NASCAR racing you want to talk about?
Yeah, IndyCar starts this week. They have their week 1 race. They'll be at St. Pete. Interestingly enough, 6-time champion Scott Dixon has never won at St. Pete. He's looking for his first win there this year. Otherwise than that, everyone's chasing Alex Palou. Palou's been a champion there for a while. And then F1 is going to be in Bahrain. Do you know where Bahrain is?
Yeah, Middle East.
You know a country in the Middle East?
Bahrain is a country.
There you go.
Now, listen, geography is not something like that's one thing I can. Like, I got my state capitals down. Do you know your state capitals?
For the most part, yeah. for the most part.
Now I kind of Alabama.
Montgomery.
There you go. Alaska.
Juneau.
There you go. How will Colin Braun?
So Colin Braun is slated to drive the 51. I think he's going to struggle, not because he's not a good driver.
They're in Jeddah. Bahrain was last week. You liar, Leroy. You liar.
I messed it up.
Is Jeddah? Is that Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. I'm interested to see how Colin Braun does because we had an owner that didn't announce his drivers until like this week, and like, dude, the race is like in like a week. So they don't have a whole lot of seat time, and the cars aren't that great to begin with. So I'm interested to see how they do. But Colin Braun is a fantastic driver.
Is it 9, Leroy?
Provinces in Canada.
You know what? Let's see. Okay, let's try and do it. Let's see if the two of us can come up with all of the provinces in Canada. Because honestly, okay, so Tyler, do not comment. Let's see.
I always mess this up because I throw in the territories.
I
throw in the territories on top of it, and the territories are separate.
Okay, so I know Yukon is one.
All right, hold on. Yeah, okay. No.
Quebec.
New Brunswick.
Yep.
Newfoundland. Okay.
You've got Quebec,
Ontario. Is Prince Edward Island one, or is that just the?
Yep. That is one.
Yep, that's one. Okay. Then we can go Ontario, Manitoba.
Yep. You've got what's Vancouver in?
Yeah, Saskatchewan.
Yep. Paul, thanks. Look at us go here.
Let's see. Yeah, see.
Yeah, Prince Edward. Okay.
See, I always want to throw none of it. But none of it's just a territory. It's not a province.
Yeah, Yukon is one though, right?
Yukon, yes. Yes.
See, I'm trying to think of Super Troopers now. Chase is right. British Columbia. Nova Scotia. Yep. Is that it?
If not, I feel like we're missing like one. Is there anything between Yukon and?
Okay, so we have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have gotten 10. How many are there?
Yukon's on the top row. I feel like there's a province in between Yukon and none of it. Like there's one like in between.
So Tyler, we've gotten 10. How many are there? It's great podcasting, isn't it? Because I honestly have no answer. I have no idea. Or I can just ask my Alexa really quick. Alexa, how many provinces are there in Canada? 10. There are 10. So I guess we've got it. So let's see if we did it. Now I'm going to Google it here. Provinces. Oh, Yukon is a territory, he says.
Oh, see, failed.
See, okay, what did we forget? So you've got Newfoundland and Labrador. So we got that one. Prince Edward Island, we got that one.
Yeah.
We got Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, we got that one. Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan.
Yep.
We got that. And now my thing is, you know what we missed? Alberta.
Oh, that's because nobody real comes from Alberta.
I don't know, is that where? Northwest Territories, too, is the other one. None of it. Northwest and Yukon. Interesting. Ice Truck Road. Well, you never know really what we're going to get into. When we started this podcast almost a year ago, Leroy, did you think that we were going to be naming it at 10:15? No. Or it's just funny, like we were in college, almost 10 years ago. Just think, like if we would have said, you're going to be on a Thursday night at 10:15, sitting in your office, naming provinces of Canada. You mentioned Sask, the real forgotten province. Alberta. That's the one that we missed. Can you believe that? Okay. Did you have any other racing before we started naming off?
No, that was the big stuff. It's just I'm really excited for St. Pete this weekend. They race on they race. Part of the racetrack is on the regular airport, so they shut down the airport for the weekend to have the race.
Chase had some other things here. Saudis have proposed a new track. You need to look it up. It has a 20 hill and turn, 20-story hill and turn.
Yeah, I don't see how F1's going to approve that.
Checkers are the best fries.
I will die with checkers and rallies. I will die with you also, Paul. I got you.
I don't know. I don't know. They're just not my favorite. They're just not my favorite.
F1's in trouble for Red Bull is in trouble for trying to hide a sexual assault. So that's they got going on as well.
Racing, right?
Yeah.
So we've made our picks. Is there anything that we have not covered? I guess it is, college basketball. We've got some conference tournaments that are going on this week. Really, we're going to have a lot of that next week because conference tournaments really are next week.
Yeah.
I know you got the ASUN championship that I believe is tomorrow. I know Stetson is in it, the Hatters. They've never made the tournament, which is interesting.
Right. Bubble teams. Colorado State, TCU, Mississippi State, and Seton Hall are the last 4 byes. Last 4 in: Villanova, New Mexico, St. John's, Virginia. First 4 out: Providence, Utah, Colorado, and Iowa. Iowa picked up a big win against Northwestern, who was injured pretty good. But I think I'm interested to see if Iowa's going to need to pick up a couple wins in the tournament if they want a chance to get into the big one.
So, Leroy, we need your pick right now. On Sunday, Austin P against Stetson in the ASUN championship.
Let's go P. Let's go P.
How did we know? How did we know that that was going to be your pick? Let's see if there are any other conference. I think that you have the OVC that will be decided on Saturday as well. Let's see what that championship. Because everybody wants to know your pick on the OVC championship, Leroy. Because why wouldn't they?
If you stuck a gun to my head, I might be able to list like 2 or 3 teams.
Can you name one team in the OVC?
Ohio Valley Conference, right?
Correct.
That's what that is.
Oh, I guess you know what I'm sorry. This is the that one is, and I was thinking of the Missouri Valley, but the Ohio Valley Conference Championship is coming up this weekend as well.
I don't think I could name any teams from the OVC.
So the OVC, you've got, I'm looking here at the men's bracket. That would be that was Eastern Kentucky, but that's Murray. No, I guess Murray just moved to the Missouri Valley. So this is Tennessee State, Southern Indiana, Western Illinois, Tennessee State, and so on. Breckinridge County lost to Ohio County 66-51. Ohio County was my pick, Jason. So that I feel bad for Breck, but Ohio County was my pick to win the region. So Leroy, your teams left in the OVC men's tournament. We need your pick. Tennessee State, Western Illinois, Moorhead, Southern Illinois Edwardsville or Indiana Edwardsville, UT Martin, and Little Rock. Who's your pick?
I got to go with Western Illinois. Those are my boys.
Moorhead. I'll go with my Kentucky guys because listen, why wouldn't I, right? The Missouri. Yeah, I'm going to get to that here in a second.
All right.
Missouri Valley, Missouri State, Indiana State, Belmont, Northern Iowa, Drake, Evansville, Bradley, or the winner of UIC and Southern Illinois.
Yeah, so that hits home. That hits home because
Indiana
there's a lot
State.
of those teams that are right near Drake. The Bradley SID is an absolute jerk, so I'll never pick them. But I will go with Drake.
I'm going. Give yourself a Google for the guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's his nickname.
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
dude.
He's fun, and that's why Indiana State needs to be in the tournament. And then the Big South as well will be decided this week as well. There's still a bunch of teams left in that, so we won't go through and name all of those. Paul asks, know about college ball. Why is LeBron's son so bad, and why is LeBron saying he can save the Lakers? So I think for me, I don't know how bad LeBron's son really is, but I think you got to think, has there been a kid that has had more pressure than this kid?
Not since Michael Jordan's kid.
Yeah. There's so much pressure on this kid. And that's where I don't really know how bad he actually is. It's just everybody is always going to say, well, he's LeBron's son, so he needs to be this. And instead, he's just Bronny James. If he was Leroy Clamola, he would be just your average college player that nobody ever talks about. And why is LeBron saying he can save the Lakers? Probably because he's, if not the greatest, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I mean, you can love LeBron, you can hate LeBron. You know, the argument could be he is a top 2 or 3 basketball player of all time. And that's kind of the biggest thing. Who you got, Leroy? Ohio County, Butler County in the boys' third region quarterfinal or semifinals on Saturday night. Who you got?
Butler.
Oh. Or you got, and then the other game is Owensboro Catholic against Muhlenberg County. That's who they play.
Oh, so my sister used to live in Muhlenberg, so I gotta go with them.
She lived in Muhlenberg County?
I'm pretty sure she lived in Muhlenberg County.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're taking that's a huge upset. So Muhlenberg County, Butler County in the championship. Who are you taking?
Butler.
And see, Ohio County was my pick to open it up, so I'm going to go Ohio County beating Owensboro Catholic in the championship. With that, and then the girls, you got some big games as well.
Yeah, Tyler, and that's just it.
Yeah.
LeBron is just being a dad. And listen, I don't even with my dislike of LeBron James, I don't blame him. I'm at all my kids' events. I don't blame him for being a dad and wanting to be there, you know, for his kid and everything. Heck, we saw Brett Favre sit up in the freaking rafters at WKU so he could watch his niece?
His daughter.
It was his daughter?
Yeah, his daughter played volleyball.
His daughter played volleyball. So listen, I fully support LeBron James for being there as much as he can to watch his kid play ball. I applaud that.
Well, we've gotten Leroy's picks in the third region boys basketball tournament because everybody's been dying for those at the end of this. Do you want to make a girls pick? Are you picking Owensboro? Are you picking Breckenridge County? Are you picking Owensboro Catholic? Or are you picking Meade County? Who are you going with? Who's going to win it all?
Breckenridge.
Ooh, I like the pick. I was going to go Owensboro Catholic, but this hurts Leroy. In the game for Grayson, their best player, region player of the year, she tore ACL, senior.
Yeah.
Region favorite. It hurts. It hurts. And you know that. You just feel bad for the other team and so on.
I do know that. Listen, actually.
We're all going Breck. Let's do it. I'll pick Breck too. We'll roll with the Lady Tigers because it makes it more fun that way.
Will anybody upset South Carolina in the women's tournament?
Are you talking SEC overall, or are you talking
overall NCAA women's tournament? No. Is South Carolina going to win the whole thing?
Yes.
Women's basketball is so different than men's, man. Because like men's, out of those 64 teams, 8 to 10 have a legit shot at winning. Women's, it's like you have like 4 teams that are at the top, then there's a huge drop off, and then everybody else. It's so bizarre.
Yeah. No, it is. And it is like that across all levels.
All levels. High school, Division 2, Division 1, don't matter. The top teams are fantastic, and then there's a huge drop-off.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it in our region, there were 5 teams, and then there was the next tier, and Grayson was the top of that next tier this year.
Yeah.
But there was a drastic difference between the 5th place team and the 6th place team. And that's just how it goes. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Did you see where the assistant coach for a high school or middle school team played in the game and just whooped the kids? She got caught.
I did see that. That's a little.
I want to say that I did read about this. 14-year-olds. I want to say I did hear about that. John asks, would Caitlin Clark even be a bench player in the NBA? We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I still maintain that Caitlin Clark would be fine on offense. It would be the defense that would get Caitlin Clark in trouble. I don't think. And listen, we can make the jokes that the NBA doesn't play defense, but DraftKings right now has odds on the Pistons drafting Caitlin, even though she's already declared for the WNBA draft. Within the WNBA draft, she's going to go to Indiana. Indiana has the number 1 pick, and they will not be trading that pick. I promise you. It don't work like that.
I even saw they've been tweeting about her.
Yeah,
which is funny. They're like going all in. Like, nope.
Yeah. The Las
She's
Vegas
a little different
Aces,
than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Aces completely sold out, which is the first time a WNBA team sold out all their seats. But all the attention is going to be on Indiana for Caitlin Clark to be on that team.
We've had a lot of WNBA talk today now.
Way too much. Way too
Who's
much,
your favorite?
my friend.
How many WNBA teams can you name?
Chicago Sky,
The Sparks,
Minnesota, not the Lynx, but Minnesota Lynx.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
You got the Sparks.
All right. Las Vegas Aces.
Washington Mystics.
Los Angeles has a team. It's not the Lakers.
Sparks.
Los Angeles
Sparks.
Yeah.
Mystics, right? Isn't that the Washington Mystics?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right.
Doesn't Phoenix have? Who did Brittany Griner play for? Phoenix
Suns.
Yeah, the Suns.
Isn't there like the Connecticut Suns or something like that?
Has a team. Yeah, Connecticut has a team.
Sky, Connecticut Suns.
Chicago's the Sky.
Let's see how many we got here. Mystics, we got Sun. I was right. Connecticut Sun, Indiana Fever, Atlanta Dream.
Oh, yeah.
The Dallas Wings, Phoenix Mercury. You were right there. New York Liberty, Los Angeles Sparks, and the Seattle Storm. Which is good. And then she played for the Russians before she came back to the U.S. Merry Christmas to you too. I am sorry, Leroy, though, that you had to miss the State of the Union tonight to do this podcast. I know you were thrilled to watch every single second of it. I know that that's usually something you watch. The thing that's been annoying me is that we always get now, my phone has been blowing up during the show because all of the politicians in Kentucky feel like they need to now send us their response to the State of the Union at like 11 o'clock at night. It's like,
I haven't gotten any. I'm at work right now. I just checked my email. I have not gotten any Illinois. They're in session right now. So all I've gotten is a bunch of like, oh, this is the bill that I'm working on.
Interesting. I'm just looking here. We just had that's interesting. Oh, well. But yes, no, like we've already gotten some from senators and House of Representatives and everything. So I think that's a good place for us to end, right?
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Normal time should be
normal time,
Wednesday.
Normal place, normal everything next week. Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Who knows what shenanigans we might get into.
That's true.
We'll see you then.